Alrighty, it's time to jump on the bandwagon. I have had a certain pattern for at least 2-ish years. I was like, yeah, this is amazing, I'm totally gonna make it. 2.5 years later, we're here. Today, I am going to make a cloak. A YouTuber that I very much enjoy the videos of is Rachel Maksy. She does a lot of sewing videos and just making things, and she seems like a person that's really cool. So a few months ago, she made a cloak as well. Well, she made 2 cloaks, but anyway. But not only did she make cloaks from the same pattern that I have, she also made the cloak that I wanted to make as well. So I thought, right, I have to make it now. So earlier on in the year, we had the Barossa Medieval Fair, and I thought, yep, I'm gonna make the cloak for that. It's gonna be great. I'll look great in my archer outfit that I've been getting ready. So I was roaming the spotlights to find some wool for it. I just wanted a nice, neat, plain brown, because that's just what I wanted. All of their wool stuff was patterned, and I didn't like it. I went to a different spotlight. I brought my mum along because I also wanted her to help me choose what lining for it as well, because I don't do lining on my stuff, but I've decided I want to put in the effort and I want to make good quality stuff. But again, everything was patterned. There was no just plain block colour of the wool. There was somewhere we could get food nearby after getting out of that spotlight, and then I had to think, and I thought, well, if I can't do that, maybe I can do this and make a fur cape or something, and then that can still work. So that's what I ended up doing for the Barossa 2021 Med Fair. But now we're getting close to the Barossa Med Fair, so I'm gonna try again. So once again, I asked Mum the other day to come and meet me at Spotlight that was near my work, because I thought, maybe this one will have more range. It's a bigger store, maybe this one will have more range. They didn't. It was like all their wool was like picnic rug wool, or like the suit type wool sort of patterns, and it just wasn't good enough. I even tried to be even less picky. I thought, look, if they've got patterns, then maybe I'll be okay with like a dark red and black sort of thing, because then that'll match my dress that I want to wear with it. But nope, didn't have that either. I was getting very frustrated. I had the thought of, am I really just not going to be able to make this cloak? Am I really just not going to be able to do it because I don't like the material of everything? So I just had a nice little cup of, cried myself to sleep that night. So that was fun. The next day the universe decided to work for me, and I had another opportunity to go to Spotlight, and I made do. So I finally did find some material. It's a long receipt. I really tried not to be picky, but I had very, very specific things in mind that I wanted this cloak to look like. I'm making do with what I've got because it is fine. It's fine. It's just not what I wanted. I decided instead of getting wool, I would go with a flannelette material. I was also mentally getting a bit concerned because I was putting together, there's gonna be a lot of layers in the cloak because the cloak has 2 capelets, and so I was getting nervous about that, because from how I've made Saya's most recent cape and hood, that had 4 layers of material that I overlocked together, and this potentially was going to have 6 layers of material, and I was getting nervous about that. However, the flannelette is a thinner material. Apparently flannelette is a good keep you warm sort of material. But of course I wasn't just going to have a cloak made out of flannelette, because that was not going to keep me warm enough. Because the other whole point of this is I just wanted to be warm. I wanted this to be a warm cloak. So my outer layer, it does look nice. My outer layer, I have this nice looking, you know, brown, orange and grey, bit of black flannelette. And then my lining, I have this nice fleece that looks as close to the orange on the flannelette as I can. I was hoping to get a dark brown that matches here a bit more, like I've gotten in the past for Sayers pants, because I've just recently made some pants. That's these bad boys. Look, haha, haha. And they are my favourite pants now, but there are things that I know I can adjust to make them work a lot better. So eventually I will update Sayers pants to these pants with the updates. So I wanted brown material to match this for the lining, because I have 10 meters of this material. The instructions say that you don't need lining for the capelet, so this lining I only have 8 meters of. If I had it in brown, I was hoping to get another 10 meters, because I figured I might actually only need 7 meters of lining, and with the remaining 3 meters that I could have had of dark brown fleece, I could use that for Sayers' new pair of pants. But they didn't have brown, so that's a project for next time. I think the material cutting lady at Spotlight was a little bit taken aback how I just slapped all this material on the bench, and I was like, I'll take it all, take it all. Oh, I was also thinking, oh, I need to close up this cloak somehow. And I thought, I don't want just like a kind of buckle clasp thing. I don't know, I was just thinking and already being worried about if I just put buttons on it or whatever, that it wouldn't be strong enough to hold the whole cloak shut. And I thought if I was doing a cloak, then maybe I should actually get a cloak pin for it. Now the Barossa Med Fair is now only about 3 weeks away. Today is the 1st of August, also 11 days until my birthday. And the Barossa Med Fair is 21st and 22nd of August. So I didn't want to order a cloak pin and not have it arrive in time. Conveniently for me, I have a friend who's a blacksmith. So I sent her a message asking if I could commission her to make a cloak pin and pick it up the week before Barossa Med Fair. And she said, yep, I'll give it a shot. Unfortunately, SA has recently come out of a COVID-19 lockdown, so I was held back by not being able to find material a week sooner, and my friend was held back because obviously she couldn't go to the forge and do some blacksmithing for herself, and because I just asked her for a thing. But anyway, we're getting it done now. I also had my overlocker in for servicing the last few months and got it back last month-ish. So I'm very happy to be using my overlocker again, because it halves the time that it takes to sew. Also with the cloak pin, I didn't like how you have to obviously stab the pin through the cloak to make it stick, because I thought I don't want to be putting a million holes in my material each time I want to keep it closed. Quite a while ago I bought these eyelets, because eventually I would like to be making my own corsets, because I would like to be wearing corsets out in my everyday sort of thing a little bit more. Also some waistcoats, because Rachel Maksy makes them look cute. But what I would like to do for this project, I would like to use the eyelets so that my cloak pin can just go through my eyelet holes each time, so I'm not poking a hole in the material every time I wear it, which is why I wanted to be able to pick up the cloak pin hopefully a week before Barossa Med Fair, so that I have the time to put those in. In my Nesta Felice outfit update video I did a while ago, I tried doing more of a slideshow and picture and voiceover video for it, but as I was editing and looking back at it, I noticed that I actually didn't like the way it looked, and also I don't think my voiceover, I said things in a natural way, so I think my voiceover, it just didn't seem too enthusiastic as when I just ramble off the top of my head. So I think I will do this one with some videos, but really just keep it brief. So I think I'm just gonna keep learning and doing things different in regards to how I want to video this, and we'll see how we go. Today I want to try and focus just getting the material cut out. If that's all I get done today, that's cool. What I do with patterns now, ones that I think I will be using a lot of and doing over and over again, whenever it was, I bought about 10 meters of mock-up material that was about $2 a meter, so that I can transfer the patterns onto that, so I don't have the paper patterns that are very fidgety and I don't like handling them. I always feel like I'm going to rip them, and so these can be easier that I can put down and pin in place. And also for things like my pants that I'm wearing, I've made adjustments on the pattern to make it better for how I make it in future. So I have moved all the chairs in the lounge room back, so I've hopefully got more floor space to put all this down. Months ago, when I was trying to get this done for the Barossa Medieval Fair, I cut out all my patterns and put them on pattern material, mock-up material sort of thing. So I'm hopefully going to be able to cut everything out today. Maybe I can overlock some pieces together. I read the instructions the other week and I was still a little confused on some things. So today I'm just going to focus on getting the material cut out, and if I feel like doing more, then cool. And let's just finally actually get started on what I'm making. The good thing about still having the material come directly from the roll is it's already folded in half and I don't need to worry about doing that. So that's cool, because I really hate having to fold the material in half because I usually don't have any room. But now that my chairs are moved back, I have a lot of room, and this is going to be great. I also forgot to mention that for both this and the fleece lining, they ended up only costing me $11 a meter for both of them. If I actually used wool, it would have been a lot more expensive. So I am kind of glad that it's become cheaper. Right, time to put some patterns on and see how this goes. Darn it. There needs to be 2 back pieces, and then of course they'll be sewn together in the middle. But I thought I could be smart and put the middle on a fold, so that then the back pieces could just be one whole piece. Unfortunately, there is still roughly that much of material in my pattern that doesn't fit on the material. So for the back piece, I think I'm going to have to open up the material for that. We can do that later. I'm going to move on to other patterns that will fit with it folded over, and that's what we're going to do to keep everything moving. The lower capelet, instead of cutting out 2 and then sewing a center back seam, I've just put it on the fold line, and for the back I'm going to leave that together because that's on the fold, and I'm just going to cut and separate the front. I just figured that I could probably do the same with the first upper capelet as well. I should have expected this, but like with the back of the cloak, the front also is too long for it to fit on the folded over material. So I am going to have to, both the front and the back panels need 2 each. So I'm just going to have to open up the material and cut out 2 of each of the pattern pieces. I did not use that much length of material doing the 2 capelets and the hood, so theoretically the potentially 8 meters I have left of material length will be enough to have all of these cape lengths able to do the thing. Yup. Whew. So I figured the best way to figure out how much length I needed was just to put the pattern down and cut the length that I need for each one. I was having a bit of a crisis at this point. I thought I had put the patterns on the wrong sides, but in the end it didn't really matter anyway because everything was fine, so I just moved on. Wowzers, it got warm in here. You're not going to see me cut that end bit, so I'll do it later. Also pretend that you saw me do this 3 more times for the other front panel and the 2 back panels, and nothing went wrong. Nothing goes wrong at all. Yep. Alrighty, we have the top, well, not the top, the front panels of the cloak done. I was smart enough to think about matching up all the lines as much as can do. So yeah, repeat. Okay, I have now finished cutting the back pieces. With the front pieces, I made them the cut where these brown squares were the edges, but I figured the back I kind of want to make it look like it's still the one piece as much as possible, so I thought I'd try and have the stripe on one of them and then the square on the other. I thought that would help make it look like it's still the one piece. And yeah, again, I've just tried to make the bottoms all have the same lining there like on the front. So yeah, I think that's alright. So I've got all my pieces cut out for the main fabric. I'm gonna have a breather, have some lunch, chill out for a bit, and then I will get the lining done. The lining just needs to be the back and the front pieces and also the hood, which is over there. So we don't need the capelets to have some lining. So yep, I'm gonna have a break and then I will just show you the end result of getting all the lining cut out. Alright, I have finally done all the cutting out of the material. I freaked out for both cutting because I was worried I wasn't going to have enough material, but I've got a tiny amount of both of them left. So I've got about 1 meter left over from both of them. So I'm glad I got enough material. I was thinking about overlocking just the capes together, like, so I've got my 2 front pieces and then underneath my 2 back pieces for the lining. But I'm kind of tired, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the night. I can see why Rachel Maksy wears knee pads when she does some sewing projects, because my knees really hurt. I'm just going to leave everything as a wreck. So that's where I'm going to leave it today. I hope boys don't want to be doing anything in the lounge room tonight, because I've kind of left it in it's just a bit of a state. Okay, catches tomorrow.